good evening and welcome to this edition of the Fourth Estate. Charles Mangushampagi. And tonight we return our focus to the main opposition political party, the Forum for Democratic Change. There was an announcement earlier in the week of that political party, former Army Commander Major General Mugisha Muntu, with a number of senior officials of the Forum for Democratic Change, including some members of parliament. What does that mean for the FDC? What does it mean for the opposition in this country? What does it mean for politics of the country? I will be discussing that extensively. And you might need to be aware, you might already be aware that this is the second major break from the FDC after that of Betty Olive Namisango Turumwe Kamya, who broke away to form the Federal Alliance Party some years back, but actually ended up joining government and now is Minister for Kampala City Authority. We'll be discussing what the implications are. And I have only two discussants here. Both of them are from the Forum for Democratic Change. I do not know which, if they fall on different sides of the new formation and the FDC. I don't know what the other FDC is called. But it's been a long journey coming to this. Let me introduce. With me tonight is Secretary General of the Forum for Democratic Change and Member of Parliament for Budadiri constituency, Nathan Nandala Mafabi. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We also have with us from Jinja Municipality East, we have Paul Mwiru. Honorable, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
I want to start with you, Nathan Nandala Mafabi. What, at a party level, do you make of this, of the creation or the emergence of, I don't know if it's a faction or if it's a new political party, a new formation? What does it mean for you as a party?
Well, I don't know what the new formation means. If it's a party, I don't know. But as far as we know, as FDC, we are a party which was formed in 2004 with, of course, leadership and members, and of course, supporters and well-wishers. And as you said, that one time one of our colleagues, Betty Kamya, went, and you know, Betty Kamya was from Reform Agenda. Maybe the genesis of FDC was formed from Reform Agenda and a powerful in Parliament. And of course, she left because she said she has not been given what she wanted in the party. And of course, as a party, of course, FDC is a party whereby it's a democratic party where members come join willingly, and those who want to live willingly, or live on their own accord. FDC does not chase members, it welcomes everybody. So when you say that there's a new formation in FDC, we don't have any new formation. FDC as a party, it is a party which is there, and I'm here to speak on it. That is a strong party, which motive, its objective is to take power from the current regime, and that's what is still on, and it's still focused on that. And that's what we are saying. Anybody who joins us, our intention is to take power from the current regime so that we're able to deliver what we promised the people of Uganda. So I can assure you FDC is there and strong. And I want to tell you, the people who are watching, is that as FDC is a party, all members who are there, like me or whoever, we're all equal. And I'm just a small unit. Nobody is bigger than the other. So as a party, if me I go away, the party remains. If anybody comes there, the party will remain. And of course...
is the FDC as a party, in your view, growing? It's
growing.
What is the evidence that it's growing?
You see, I don't know how you measure growth. As you can see, growth is as we recruit members. Members join the party. As you are seeing, the numbers are growing every day. You see, the only problem is that we are dealing in a regime of a dictator, that when we put up maybe a structure, our structures are destroyed, or people are shredded in the other way. But I can tell you FDC is growing. And I can tell you...
What is the evidence of that growth? You've had... your numbers have stagnated at 35 in Parliament, which does not represent a growth from the numbers you had in the previous Parliament. A number of your key members were defeated in the last election. You're only able to bring on board only a handful of new members. You have not fared well in recent by-elections. And most recently, you witness a major walkout of a person as high as your former party president, your former national mobilizer. And he's not working alone. He's working with the person you replaced as Secretary General of that party, in Alice Ashanut Alaso. They're not working alone. They're working with several other senior members of your party. What do you say, what growth does that represent for you?
I want to start from saying we're defeated. Even my colleague here, Paul Muir, if you are not going to court, it had been assumed you had been what? Defeated. So it clearly shows that those who were able to go to court have succeeded in the process, and Muir is now in parliament. So I want to tell you that our defeat of some of our colleagues was not a genuine defeat. For example, you go to a polling station, people by 10, voting is finished. I'll give you, we're in a by-election in Virginia, where Paul here will testify. If we're not vigilant, we got even, they had got ballot papers, which they had stuffed, which were printed. So if it was not that we were all there at that particular time, anything could have happened. So for me, this election, which ended in 2016, was not a free and fair election. And that's why we have said we were cheated. Dr. Chiza won, our members won, but in the process,
the defection of a large number of your senior officials.
You have asked me.
Just a moment.
Please, you have asked me. I want to respond. I have written them. I am replying all of them. Now, you have said that some of our members are going away. Yes, the members are free to go. Let me give an example. Even as we speak, you started very well. You said Betty Kamia left, Onzima left, and we have even lost people who have died. I'll tell you, Chugundu died, our chairman. Prince Kimera died, but the party is still here. So what you are trying to say that they walk out does not mean that if somebody is walking out, the party should close. No, it can't close. The party
as Secretary General of the party, when people walk out, it is a sign that your house is on fire.
How?
Those who died, that is natural. But those who are walking out because they have reasons that things are not in order at Najana Nkumbi. And you cannot skirt away from that fact, can you?
I will explain. You see, let me tell you something. I think you're missing a point. There are people in the companies who are working and they say, this one is irreplaceable. If we leave this company, it will... People have left companies and have not collapsed. Let me tell you, there's nothing you can say it is not irreplaceable. So now, you're saying people are walking away. Why? I'll give an example. Person I stood in 2012. I lost election with 30 votes. I never walked away. I never. I stuck in. General Muntu went to stand in 2017. There were 4 candidates. There was General Muntu, there was the Honorable Ngini Amuriat, there was my younger brother Mugisha Moses, and my brother Malcolm Masiko. They went, and if there are 4 people, it is clear that one will win. Now, when they went to stand, nobody is saying the election was unfair and unfree. They all agreed the elections were free and fair. And one had to be returned. And who was returned? Ngini Amuriat. Now, Ngini Amuriat won election. Now, when he won election, immediately General Muntu said he wants to start consulting in the countryside. I don't know what to consult what. He has been a president for 5 years. He has been a mobilizer for 10 years. So to consult what? Also, when he started consulting, he brought a report. Before the report can be discussed, he says, I'm going away. So what is this?
What is that saying about the party?
No. I think for him, he wanted to be a president at all costs.
Okay.
And if he had wanted, I want to ask also a question, which I know the public will answer. Having gone for election, so Ngini Amuriat has won, did he expect Ngini Amuriat to hand over to him that now, I've won, now you are the president?
He raises issues which he has stated in his statement to the public. Let me quickly turn to Paul Muiru. Paul Muiru, what does this mean for you as FDC as a party? What exactly is going on that our viewers do not understand is going on inside the party?
Actually, not only the viewers, even the media. Because you see, for instance, when they talked about the formation, the media treated it actually like it was a political organization. I'll give an example. When General Muntu was going to have extended invitations to people attended, including myself. When we attended, he made this statement they made the statement. NTV interviewed me. They asked me that, what do you make out of this? Now you as a member who has been there, I said, I've listened, I've digested, and I have time to make a decision, largely on what had happened. But what do I make out of, first, as Onamnandala said, that the strength of political parties is the aggregate strength of all the individuals within the party. But you see, why individuals come together, they always want to pursue a common objective. And like I will give an example, like in our case, when they want to show a common objective, normally political parties are supposed to have ideologies. So that members have ideological grounding, and there is also structure and discipline, and agreed method of work. That's how actually it's supposed to be. And normally in political parties, like in the situation which actually maybe is being misread, is that when you come into an organization, you have the same objective, but maybe you have different strategies on how to achieve that objective. There are always two practical situations, that either the two strategies keep on competing within the organization, and it is now up to the organization to agree either to adopt both or apply one, but the two cannot actually coexist. For instance, I can give an example of a company. If the new leadership comes in place, it can come up with policy directions and say, this is where this is where I want to go as a company. So it is up to the members of the organization to see whether they believe in the direction they are taking. Similarly, in this aspect of the political party, the way we are talking, if we are the tendencies as General Muntu raises them and say, look, I believe in this, other people believe in this. If he moves, as he is saying, he moves on the line of what he's saying, actually he believes in as a person. As to whether this affects an organization or not now, this, to me, that's why I don't even want to concern myself with the past. It has to depend. People are not going to judge him on what he's saying, why he left. People are going to judge him on what he's doing from now onwards and what is his direction. Because like Honorable Nandala said, there was Betty Kamya, there was Onzima. What was the judge? It was time. You understand that when they left, what direction did they take? Because like I listened to him, his argument was that, look, we have two tendencies. Instead of us engaging in conflict, and we look as if we have a lot of negative energy to fight amongst ourselves. I've moved. I wish FDC very well. They practice what they understand. I practice what I understand. We focus on the same enemy. But he left the door for cooperation wide for all stakeholders, including Forum for Democracy.
What did you attend?
What press conference.
Yes, that press conference of what organization?
I attended the press conference.
Is it a political party? Is it a pressure group?
No.
What is
it? The card invited as a person.
No. Yes. General Muntu invited you. Yes. There was a banner called New Formation at the back. I didn't see the banner. You're sitting, the banner was behind you, where you were.
See it.
Yes, there was a banner saying New Formation.
Yes.
It was announced as New Formation.
Yes.
On social media and other communication that has come out is New Formation. What is New Formation? Is it a political party? Is it a pressure group? What is it?
Actually, I construe New Formation to be an English word. To me, that maybe something is nothing. Just like on Friday, I attended the DP reunion meeting. And of course, one would also ask me that now, when you attended, what is the DP reunion? Are you part of it? Then on Saturday, I attended the burial.
You are a member of the Forum for Democratic Change?
Yes.
You're a senior member of that?
Yes.
And you've been with that party for a long time?
Yes.
So what is it that you attended at that press conference? What is it you're invited to witness? First and foremost, of course... is it a splinter group of the FDC? Is it a pressure group? Is it a new political party?
I attended General Muntu's press conference because I knew he had carried out consultations. I attended the one for Busoga myself. he said he's going to come up with an idea and then he'll go and talk to the country.
He made an
about the
announcement. You
issues.
said, you just told our viewers and us in studio that he believes the other tendency, he doesn't agree with it.
Yes.
He agrees with another tendency. So he has walked away.
Yes.
And he has not walked away alone.
Yes.
Yes? Walked away into what?
Of course, we shall have to wait and see what he walks away with, or what he has walked into. For instance, like if one makes an intention, people will have to look at what he has walked away to, what are the policies, what's his method of work, and then people will have to be convinced.
Gentlemen, let me put this question to the both of you. I hear the answers, they're winding and running around the critical issues. Can Uganda's political problem be fixed by skirting the problem? You have a problem within the Forum for Democratic Change, and that problem has been highlighted by the latest walkout, which is of General Mugisha Muntu. What is that problem?
For me, I think of course, one, we cannot pretend that he has not walked away. That's a fact. That two, what we also not pretend about, there are some people who believe in his method of work and what actually he's saying. But to answer the question very directly, as to whether it was palatable for him to stay within an organization, we see the two tendencies fight. We shift the focus from the dictator, in this case President Museveni, and we focus at fighting each other in that regard. If he moved and he maintained a cordial relationship with an organization where he's moving, to me, in the wider context, it would be energizing the opposition than staying around. We engage in bickering, and then at the end of the day, you don't move where you're supposed to be.
Nandala, I'll put the same question to you. Can the problems of this country be fixed by you skirting around the issues that afflict your political party?
Yeah, I think before I want to start the genesis of these things. On 25th September 2018, General Muntu met with Ingeni Amuriat, the party president of FDC, and he handed him this report. And in this report, there were two scenarios to be resolved. One, resolve our internal contradictions and move together, or separation. On 25th at Farewell Hotel. The previous day, Bihandi, my Honorable Bihandi, he had talked, you saw him on TV, I think it was on this TV, and he said, the FDC came with the armed personnel in the red number plates of government, attacked my home, and because I'm going to become the new chairman of the new party. And as I speak now, General Muntu is at Najana Kumbi, handing over the report and leaving. He thought that report was going to be handed over on what? On Monday. Unfortunately, he misread. Now, as soon as Ingeni Amuriat got this, he was bringing it to the party. Before they could conclude, General Muntu said, we have walked away. We have left. Are you getting it? So what was the purpose of the report, which you have given two things? Resolving internal contradictions and a separation. Before they can resolve internal contradictions, you have already separated. The chairman of the party, Ambassador Birigwa, had put a reconciliation committee, which was supposed to handle all these issues about the contradictions. Now, none of that was handled. Now, I think my younger brother Paul is saying, if you can't work together, you have to go away. In a home, if you disagree with your wife, does it mean you should go away? Or your children? You must resolve those internal contradictions. If this was formed with the purpose of saying we must take power to serve these people, the people of Uganda, in a different way. I think that was, well, when you talk about ideologies, I don't understand very well ideology, but for us, I know that was the case. We have not reached, but on the way, you have said, no, I can't move with you, I'm going behind. So, that shows that there must have been something different which our brother General Muntu was aiming at. I am happy my brother Paul Mwiru was invited. I'm a Secretary General of FDC. I will never got a card to go and attend the press conference. That means even the attending of that press conference was selective. Because if it was meant for all of us, we would have got a general invitation, all of us to be there. And that's why we're saying, if there are colleagues who are members of parliament who want to go with General Muntu, we have no problem with them. You're free to go. Let them declare so that we know. And that will be also good for us, so that we know the load we have, how many of us are carrying it. You see, it's like you're going to walk on foot. You're going from Intinda to town on foot. And you have a neighbor who has a car. The neighbor can leave, and you are supposed to be in town by 9 o'clock. The neighbor can leave 8:30 to town because he has a car. But you on foot, you must wake up at 6 o'clock to move. So that if we are sure we are walking, we should wake up at 6 instead of going at 8:30 as if we have a car. That's what I want to put there. So now, this struggle will continue because we have not reached...
What is creating those internal contradictions in the party? When you contested against General Muntu, you disagreed seriously with the outcome of those results.
Yes. We went to the reconciliation committee.
You protested.
Yes.
A committee was established, chaired by Ladislas Lwakafuzi, to investigate and try to resolve what you called internal contradictions at the time. Because General Muntu won, the chairman of your campaign walked away not just from FDC, but actually joined the National Resistance Movement Party.
True.
5 years later, there is another election in the Forum for Democratic Change to elect another president. General Muntu loses to Patrick Oboy Amuriat, Power. There are people who never walked back to Najanankumbi from that day. And after all this pulling of ropes, General Muntu tells you, I think we cannot stay. We have reached irreconcilable differences. I need to walk away. There must be something fundamentally ailing the FDC. Yes. What is that?
So you have said a good thing, that my chairman walked away. If I'd walked away because I was a candidate, it would have been the worst thing. Because for me, the chairman came, he wanted to prepare me to become a president of the party. I lost. I never walked away. I stuck in. In fact, I gave space to General Muntu to do the work. Now,
how do you mean you gave him space?
No, I went, because what happened, I was no longer in any party structure. I waited until when I became the Secretary General in 2015. And at that time, the Secretary General of the party was Alaso, Honorable Alaso, with General Muntu. Now, give me a chance, you wanted to know.
Yes.
Now, I said, let me wait. I waited. And I came. I'm in the party making my small contribution. Now this time, instead of also chairman of Team Muntu going away, it's now General Muntu himself going away. That's more dangerous.
No, what you're telling us that you gave, what you're telling our viewers that you gave General Muntu space to operate is that you did not go back to party headquarters.
No, I wasn't in any structure.
For the 5 years, for the 5 years after you lost that election, you never went back to party headquarters. And you were not alone. Your party chairman walked away. Actually, never to come back.
Yes,
there are other people, we can list them, who never walked back with you. Some members who were in parliament withheld your contribution to the party.
No, I paid.
No, some. I'm not saying you. Some members did not pay their contribution to the party for the 5 years General Muntu was in charge.
No, I don't think so.
I'll tell you for a fact. You did not go back to party headquarters. Major Baramera Ranga actually walked away from the party. Toterebuka Bamwenda never stepped at Najanankumbi, and there are several others. You made the party completely dysfunctional under General Muntu. Now, General Muntu and his team, rather than also wait out another 5 years for power, have decided to walk out.
No, let me make it clear first. No. Robert Ramira was not in the leadership of what? Of the party. Teberuka, Mwenda, Tetraboka were not in the structures of what? Of the party. I want to be clear on that. They were not in the structures of what? Of the party. Now, these were like any supporter who can be in Kisoro, Mbale, and whatever. So when it says not to come, that's a different story. Now, I, as Nandala, I never withheld any coin of mine to be deducted to be taken to Najana Kumbi. That's number one. Two, they would
Do you know members who did?
Do
you know members who did? You're the Secretary General, so you look.
No. At that time, I was
no, you are not. But as Secretary General of the party, you have records of the party. You can look back and say, during these 5 years, did everybody continue to contribute to the party as they were supposed to?
No, but I can tell you that even up to now, there are members who never contributed at that time. They are not still what? Contributing. That's another story.
Why?
Well, they know themselves. They know themselves because they know why they are not contributing. But what I wanted to make clear that I continued. There was no assignment which was given to me that I never did. That is number one. I can tell you that. So on that point, to say that we walked away, nobody, I and Andala never walked away. But I lost.
You never stepped at Najana Kumbi?
Wow.
In 5 years?
Who tells you I never went to Najana Kumbi?
You did it.
Who tells you? What was there? If they called members of parliament, I would go there. Just go and get the record.
You mean they didn't call them?
If they called them...
Did they call them?
Yes, any meeting, the call of members of parliament, I was there. Let me tell you.
Did the party
president... see, for you, you are talking because you're not a member. I am talking because I'm a member of FDC. You don't know internally what is
I am interviewing you.
So I'm telling you, I participated in all activities.
I am interviewing you, together with Paul Muiru, as a journalist who attended the formation of the Forum for Democratic Change at La Bonita, on Entebbe Road, PAFO and Reform Agenda. I attended the creation, the earlier formation of Chapaka Ruhanga's party and the Forum, NDF and the Reform Agenda at Lugogo Mall. So I have covered FDC from the days of its formation to its registration to date. So if I am asking questions about what has been going on in that party, I know that Toterebuka Mwenda, for example, was a permanent fixture at Najana Kumbi. I know that Rubaramira Ranga had been chairman of the Electoral Commission of the FDC. Before he became chairman of your campaign, he was...
No.
He had been.
No, he was a chairman. Then Dan Mugarura was elected. So he was just a mere member of the party. So I just, for me, I picked on him.
Is Dan Mugarura staying with the FDC or is working away with General Muntu?
Ask him. Why do you ask me questions?
You are the Secretary General of the party.
But for me, as far as I know, Dan Mugarura is a member of FDC. He has not declared.
He doesn't keep members. He keeps records.
What records do you keep if you don't keep records of members?
No.
As Secretary General, what records?
He doesn't keep physical members.
I keep members in the drawer.
No, but you would know who is on your registration.
I don't keep members in the drawer. I have a record as far as I know. Dan is a member of what? Of FDC. Unless he has told you that he has what? Moved on.
Honorable Paul Muiru, you know, if you have as Secretary General, you know which members you have. You can.
I think now, let me help on the question of Honorable Toterebuka Bamwenda. Honorable Toterebuka Bamwenda, actually, for me, I want to agree with him. He was a member and he was a deputy published by then. When Honorable General Muntu was elected the president, clearly, for him, it was clear that if he is elected, I will not work with him, and he left. And you cannot blame him for anything which happened thereafter. Oh, Nanda was also right. He was the Treasurer General, he was the Treasurer General, and Honorable Sabit. When General Muntu was elected, he resigned in our national conference in Ruwero, so he had no business. So you can't accuse him of not having stepped there, because by that time, he had resigned.
Congratulations, he has a very beautiful way of building the party.
No. What I'm saying, you see, you need to understand one thing.
Honorable Muiru, political party functioning.
Yes.
The results are evident.
Yes.
That 5 years you spent with a dysfunctional party.
Yes.
Because Muntu was in leadership.
Yes.
Is reflected in the numbers you're able to turn out in parliament.
Yes.
Is reflected in the numbers you're able to turn out in local council and other subsequent elections. The leadership of Patrick Amriat Oboy reflects its effectiveness in the numbers you're able to turn out in the recently concluded local council and elections.
Yes.
And how you're performing in by-elections. That the results available show that you have a dysfunctional political party that is actually weakening, and the evidence of that weakening is emerging out of members walking out of you, especially senior members.
No, actually, you need to appreciate one thing. As Honorable Nandala said, you see, a leader counts for the time he has been in the leadership. For instance, when Honorable Nandala Mafabi and Honorable Jack Sabit resigned in Uwero, General Muntu appointed, I think it was Honorable Angelino Sege and Honorable Winnie Kiza. So they cannot hold him accountable for what, with the time when they were actually in office.
We are
the point we are making.
We are auditing the Forum for Democratic Change.
Yes, now I'm coming to that. But you see, what is important for us as of now is not the direction where you are taking us for one reason. For instance, you're asking him whether who has left and who has not left. As a party, an audit will be done. This is the starting point. Once we sit and look at for instance, every member makes an assessment on his own. This to start with. Once we look at these issues as they are actually arising, our focus should be on the way forward from this point. First, how do we relate with those who have gone for the bigger cause, if at all it is necessary? Our concern is to have an open door policy. You understand? For instance, I'll give an example. I'll give an example with my friend, Honorable Alex Wanzima. Honorable will bear me witness. He never enters the parliament through the NRM wing. You understand? He enters through our wing, and what we also need just to give him the confidence that if things are not moving right, please,
you can come back.
You can come back. But the point I'm making,
thank you. You raise an important issue.
The internal conflict, for us to make it, to aggravate it within, people are going to be judged by what are they doing when they have left. That's why today we can comfortably say that Betty Kamia, Honorable Betty Kamia, Honorable Nzima, where are you? Like for me, for instance,
it's an interesting open door policy that you run within the FDC that only sees exits, not entries.
No. Yes. There are also entries. The only difference is...
Can we come and look at those entries when we come back after a very short commercial break? We'll be right back. You're still watching the Fourth Estate, and we're discussing issues in the Forum for Democratic Change, which saw a major split the other day with the announcement by Major General Mugisha Muntu, who's a former president of that political party, saying he is quitting the party. He presented a report of his consultations, after which started in January, after losing the party presidency in an election in December. I think that election was in November. In November, he's decided to go it alone. Of course, he's going with Yokasi Bihande, who's a former member of parliament from Kasese, and husband to the former leader of opposition, Winnie Kiza. So maybe by inference, we might assume that Winnie Kiza might be following course. There are some members who were invited to that press conference, and others were not invited. I don't know what that means, but the members here will help us understand. Let me broaden this discussion, because I see you two gentlemen, both of you from the FDC, unwilling to discuss the internal issues within the FDC. You are unwilling to admit that you have issues within your party, Mr. Secretary General.
No, but you see, you said when we go for break, you're talking about exits, but you're not.
Yes, we don't. So
I'll be trying to make a quick number because I want to. There are very many, but I'll give you what you would hear. Honorable Chamadidi, Plani Mugenyi, in Shema municipality. We have Aaron Turen, who crossed and is now a mayor of Indigenous Isingiro.
Indonesia.
You know him. We have Goma Nwagaba now, former RDC, who is our candidate in Shema North. Now, if you go in Karamoja, we had never had in Kotido a councillor of FDC. Now, if you go there, we are more or less reaching 50-50 within in Kotido. Because basically, one thing is that we may have not been very effective in mobilizing Karamoja. So we have even in Karamoja FDC councillors. We have LC1 chairs. Now, you said we did badly in LC1. I want to make it clear. We had zero. As FDC, we had zero. We are starting from zero. So even if we had got one, we would say we have done very well. And whatever we have got, we are very happy with it.
It is the first election, LC election we are having,
but
since we turned multi-party.
Yeah, but let me tell you, all of them were turned to NRM. I can tell you that. Even when I was seeing a post, I don't know about Paul or me, help me to understand this. Nani, I was on with the Secretary General of NRM, Kasoro Mumbe. He said, Nandalo, you even lost in your village, which was a complete lie. That means they have wrong results. I don't know, Paul.
Actually, they have refused to gazette the LC1 chairpersons because there are some we contest. Because, like, I'll give an example of Ginger in prison. The prison officer is the chairperson of the LC. The guidelines refused. People they have refused to gazette. So that we have a record and we know what the action we would take. But also, too, and most important, those who, before we had almost none, before that we had more than 30%, that would worry the NRM that we had eaten into their area. But and the most important,
Paul Muiru, there has not been the first LC1 elections were held. These are the first LC1 elections. There were no LC1 elections since this country turned multi-party.
But also, what you shouldn't forget,
in 2005,
let me give an example. In my village, I had a candidate by the name Mr. Joseph Chinove. I think by either character necessary, I don't know. Our own people said, Honorable, we love you, but on this one, this is the chairman whom we are going to stay with. Let us, we are voting without following parties. And they went and voted a DP person. I was there. I lined in the line. So even the factors, as how people are electing LOC chairpersons.
You lined in the line to vote for the DP person?
For a FDC person. Of course, it was in the open. And it's not like a second ballot where you go and vote. But you have to go and stand in the line, buy your candidate. And you see young people saying, Honorable, this is a village matter. For you are going to go, we shall read the stamp, we shall read the BCD. They went and voted the DP person. So similarly, actually the LOC elections had more to do with the personalship at the village, because people have suffered over selling stamps. Because like even in some of our villages, you ask for an LOC later, and the chairman tells you, Honorable, you know now, this is also our work. You need to give something. So people needed someone whom actually they would trust and they would deal with. So it had nothing necessarily to do with the strength of NRM. That's why that even where they had got almost 100% of the LOC, when it came to the by-elections, they were actually losing.
Maybe I don't know that.
Isn't it the responsibility of the main opposition party
Charles,
to win those people over to its side?
But Charles, maybe what I want to pick up from what Paul was going to say. You see, they created many villages. And in those villages, they were making the NRM chairman to become the interim chairperson of what? Of the village in the LOC. And they had the stamps. Now, that means all the structures which were even early on were converted to become the structures of what? NRM. And that's by the NRM has no structure in the village. They use LOC1 structures, GISOs and whatever. Two, the GISOs were moving around, and you see that's one of the things we have to go to court to interpret. You get a GISO, a PISO, a RISO, whatever VISO, trying to really say, no, you must line by NRM. And yet these are supposed to be what? Civil servants who are doing a wrong thing in that area. But let me also add on this.
Honorable Nandala, you are not a new politician.
That's why
you did not walk into this thing unconsciously. You walked into it consciously.
Yes.
You knew what you were going to be confronted with. And you've been promising Ugandans over the last 3 elections in which you have fielded candidates as a Forum for Democratic Change party that these are the things you intended to fight and overturn. You're not doing that. You're still giving them as excuses.
No, but you see, let me tell you, let me give another extra example. Every village was given 120,000 by NRM. The village has 50 people. 50. Even some of them were, like one of the village here in Champo had only 3 people. So now, I'll give you what it means by 50 people. Each of them gets 2,000 in the village. Now the one of FDC or whatever DP has nothing. They will go with the one of what? 2,000. Again, the election was rigged in money terms.
Actually, even NRM members were given the money to mobilize their areas.
Gentlemen,
so, but you know, let us conclude this one.
The evidence of the walkouts and the list of new entries speak to a problem within the FDC, and that problem is at party headquarters, not in the villages. The absence the excuses you're giving show that the party headquarters hasn't had time to think between the two tendencies of General Mugisha Muntu and Patrick Amuriatoboy, which I believe also Nandala believes in, and we have been told the founding party president, Dr. Kizza Besigye, believes in, of defiance versus putting up party structures. That's your crisis.
Yeah, but you see, you're raising all these things. Structures are supposed to be built, and you cannot have defiance without party structures. That's why they are there. But what I wanted us to make, maybe let us conclude on this LC, because you want to run away. LC won elections was held, and I want to say, whatever little we got, for us we're coming from zero. On this, I will give one final example in Mbale municipality. There's an LC1 chairman, he's called Wamara. He chose Malungi. Malungi, you know Malungi? For him, whether who or when he stood, even the candidates who stood, he had to win the election. For him, whenever you go to him, he'll never ask even a single shilling for a stamp. You want a stamp for a passport? So they even campaigning and said, if we don't know you, Omara should be the one to what? I'll give you that one. In fact, in the tax pack and Bali. As Paulo said, LC1 had a lot to deal with the characters of the persons. And I cannot deny that. Now, having said that,
FDC as a party didn't mobilize to get those characters of the individuals to have them in their column.
No. Actually, what the President Museveni has done is to demonize actually the opposition. I'll give an example of myself. He falsely charged us of treason, those Trump charges. But now, if you want to talk to someone and you call someone, he will say, Honorable, you know you are now on a treason case, so please, let me call you on another line. You understand? When you want to meet someone, so it's like he uses it to isolate, demonize you, and nobody should come closer to you. Exactly. Similarly, even in the villages, for you take an example of NADS. Those LOCs who have been running around for over 30 years, whenever their government program like giving out NADS, mosquito net, they have all gone through them, and I haven't thought that actually they are NRM structures. So the people at the villages looked at someone who was delivering a mosquito net, who was delivering coffee seedlings, who was delivering maize seeds. You understand? So the patronage created by the president at the top had been decentralized even at a lower level.
Muiru,
yes.
What exactly are you telling our viewers who would want to join the FDC because you have told them that you are the party that is going to defeat President Yoweri Museveni by what you're saying? Or you're telling people, relax and wait until President Museveni gets out on his own or some other way, we shall. Then the FDC will become an active party that can actually win an election.
Let me tell you this, actually, even from the way you have been asking, first you speak from an angle, like either we have a duty on ourselves alone to cause change in this country. That's the starting point. And this also goes to many out there. Like this afternoon, evening, I was attending a function. Then someone was saying, you see, Honorable, thank you so much. You are fighting for us. You see, you politicians, we let the politics for you politicians. So I was telling them, no, I was not designed, I was not created to fight for you. We have to fight for ourselves, all of us. So actually, the elite class like you don't even think about politics, I think.
The reason you're
most of you, yes, some of you,
is to...
So no, some of you now even seem to be like in a comfort zone. They think that there are those people who are already there are actually going to fight for you. Yet it is a responsibility of all of you to know that President Museveni is messing up this country because he no longer does politics. What is he doing? Management of power. I'll give an example. I saw my sister, I saw my sister Catherine Kusasira moving out with the money. First wait, as someone,
don't run away from issues that you are supposed to deal with as a political leader.
No. Let me first conclude this. As someone who had never been a vice chair public account committee, I asked myself, Catherine Kusasira works as who in the government? Is she a principal private secretary of someone? Is she a government worker? I said no. Then she's having public money. To whom does she account and when does she account? So President Museveni has broken down all the issues of government to the extent that if anybody, for instance, if I wanted to go and convince the family of those people who had lost their dear one to belong to the FDC or to another political party, equally, one had to go either with 30 million shillings to show that actually he has a big heart, he also has a big heart, then Catherine Kusasira, who had actually brought 20 million shillings. In those circumstances, it would mean that either myself, Honorable Nandala, We have to get our army and keep on giving society to
No,
lend support and have patronage with the population. So for you to gauge us with the NRM, which is going to the state cover and pick public money, and go and squander it the way they are doing, it becomes also very unfair.
No, but your statements, your statements of resignation and lamentation, honestly,
Sorry?
Honorable
No,
Muro,
no, no, no.
do not,
I think you're not being fair.
no,
to Paul.
do not inspire confidence
Charles,
on anybody, elite or non-elite, who is shopping around for a political, for a political party to be able to add their support.
The support, no.
Because you're telling them, I'm not fighting for you, you should fight for yourselves.
No, 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 no. That's what I'm, for instance, now, I am moving to Gulu from here on a treason
Charges.
charge. You understand?
On your own fear.
Yes, on my own fuel. The endurance, the sacrifices we are making, we are saying, we are looking forward to seeing very many political elites or professionals joining the body politic. And you know, you make one mistake. When you get someone and maybe you buy a car, you put on loud music, you move around the entire town, you know you have conquered the entire world. The population out there, whose lives are being messed up, one day will lay you on the way. Actually, or if you parked anywhere.
No, ask him if he has side mirrors.
you understand? Because we have messed up the lives of these people to the extent that, you understand, whenever they see someone driving a car, like I even now was driving towards, I was going at CBS around the checker market. They actually took the side mirror. While I was sitting inside. Yet I'm one of those who are still fighting for them. But whenever they see someone, they want to partake anything. So we have a duty, collectively all of us, to reorganize the body political.
And some of those
we
people,
make it
including those who took your side mirror,
Yes.
those who took mine,
Yes.
are watching you
Yes.
and are waiting for a
You
message.
also went.
Are waiting for a message that inspires them
Yes.
to be able to join what you're doing. But let me take a message.
No, but let me do this.
Just a moment, because you'll answer also with this. Nteja Simo is watching us and says, Muntu's exit marks the last funeral rites of FDC. What do you say to him?
I think he's not. You see, let me tell you, you'll get an NRM discussing FDC matters. He doesn't know anything. This is our party. We know that there is no death in FDC. FDC cannot die as a party. But what I also wanted to put across is that this one, you see, NADS is a government program. Let me start from there. Now, a villager assumes this money is coming from Museveni's pocket. You understand? As if saw these cows and brought money to them. Now, the villager is not aware that this money is his own tax, which he pays. Are you getting me? Now, listen, Charles, listen. Now, the responsibility to tell that brother of mine and sister in the village that when you see NADS, if somebody doesn't give it to you, box him, it's because your money, it is you and me. Because you come from a place, you come from a village, you are supposed to explain to your people.
The village
Listen, let me explain further. Now, you see, President Museveni has spoiled the country. What took him to the bush he has forgotten. He says, when he came, he says, there's no money in politics. He's the one working with the money. Kumbe was lying us and is working with money. Now, using taxpayers' money, instead of doing a road, instead of doing what, that's why you see that we don't have the infrastructure. He's using it for patronage, to give to people. If you want to get answers, you wait. Now, listen to this first. You, the elite, which we're talking about, because your children go to Kampala parents, you are taking them to international schools, you sleep in good homes. I can tell you educating those children, but I can tell you tomorrow they are going to be surrounded with poor brothers. The poor brothers will assume why they are suffering is because of them. They are going to kill them. You remember Kasokoso here recently? Kasokoso was a result, or if they had not really tried to stop it, Kasokoso was a result of people those who have and don't have. Kasokoso believes that we who stay in good places have taken their share. And I can tell you, we're sitting on a time bomb. Chelsea, you're one of them. This afternoon, you have lost Said Miraz. You never lost Said Miraz because the one who took them wanted them. He was dying of hunger. That's why he thought that he could get money.
Honorable Nandala Mafabe and Honorable Paul Muiru, you will not answer my questions that I understand now. The villager watching us now,
So
be them in Budadiri, be them in Masese.
Yes.
They are remembering that just during the week, and the story that has been dominating was the walkout of FDC of some of your senior members. They think there is a crisis. There is no NADS at Naja Nankumbi.
Yes.
So NADS money Catherine Kusasira's money is not dividing Najana Nkumbi,
Yes.
the party headquarters.
Yes.
The dysfunctionality within the party headquarters is your
The party headquarters is working.
Fix.
But Bwana,
No,
let me now answer it.
Uh-huh.
You see, for instance, we focus on what we can influence, not what is of concern. You understand? Simply, and why? What can we influence as of now is to see that whatever happened does not happen. So we cannot get stuck into the past. We can only concentrate on the relationship of all democracy-seeking forces so that we work together to go and confront the enemy. The media would wish to facilitate the process where there would be fighting, there would be exchanges, and then at the end of the day, you would make news. Our focus is on the future, because whatever has happened has happened.
What we have been discussing here is not a creation of the media. It's a creation of within your house.
Yes.
In FDC.
Yes.
And the quicker you resolve it,
Actually,
you don't live in denial
Actually,
and deal with it.
Actually, it is resolved.
Let me take a message.
Someone has told you has moved, and we are saying we have also moved on. As simple as that.
Let me take some messages. Bernard Mpeiru from Rubaga is saying, we know a big number of FDC MPs are with General Muntu but can't walk out now because they came on party ticket. Definitely they will pretend to be FDC when they are with General Muntu, and they are likely to sabotage FDC programs in Parliament as they buy time until 2021. This is more troublesome. Bernard Mpeiru. Another viewer here, I think this is a Gift from Nansana. Gift has a very long message. He says, thanks for the show. Thank you, Gift. And he says, I just hope, wish and pray that Honorable Muiru and his team who finally joined the Defiance movement does not end it the way Betty Kamya shamefully did. She accused Kiza Besigye and others of being greedy and intolerant when she was finally out of FDC, duped Ugandans by forming Uganda Federal Alliance, fooled them to participate in collecting signatures to call for a referendum before running with them to State House for the feast. I wish them well. Going by his actions of defying the party's position to support an independent candidate during the Arua by-elections and having been invited for the presser, there is no doubt that Honorable Muiru is part of the new formation. Are you part of the new formation?
You first read the message.
I am sure his discontent against the party didn't start yesterday. And like others, he had a golden opportunity at the time of by-elections in Jinja Municipality East. Why didn't he contest as an independent candidate or under another party? Or for purposes of proving his worth, why can't he resign his current slot in Parliament, go back to the voters and see if he can make it back to that house outside of FDC? That's a message from, it's a message from Gift from Nansana. Another viewer here, we'll take a break shortly after I've read this message. It's illogical for Mafabi and the Defiance team to deliberately blame General Muntu's departure on the last concluded party presidential elections. How come he didn't go when he lost to Besigye in 2009, 2011 and 2015? Truth is, there is a cult in FDC led by Kano Besigye, and the Archbishop is Honorable Mafabi. Whoever doesn't bow at their altar is sentenced to hell. Look at Honorable Beatrice Anywa's story, Honorable Nabila, Honorable Ali Salaso, etc. The FDC should walk the talk and stop the ostrich mentality. Another listener says, yes, keep interrogating those guys to the end. You're not giving the answers. Anthony is watching us say, I think you're being unfair to the opposition on the issue of LC elections. Obviously, FDC and other parties could have done more to mobilize, but LC elections were sham elections, and you can't write off opposition reasons for failure to gain numbers at LC1 as mere excuses. It's the reality on the ground. Question is it the first time for the journalists to be mistreated by authorities? How come it doesn't stop? And every time it happens, we see you and other journalists calling this out. Would it be fair to call that lamentation or excuses? You know the reality on the ground. One side is overwhelmingly strong. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll conclude looking at the broader questions of the political formations in the country and what they mean for the future. Welcome back to this last segment of the Fourth Estate, and the viewer, a viewer has christened the Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafavi Bishop.
Archbishop.
Archbishop. Archbishop, and someone here is saying, what's wrong with people moving from one party to another? This won't be the last of such movement.
That's true.
Who knows? It won't be Honorable Nandala Mafavi next.
You see, I'm happy that now I've become Archbishop. Unfortunately, I hope the Archbishop of Uganda, Stanley Tagari, does not say, "You man, how do you take my chair?" But you see, I think he mentioned Anywa. He knows where Anywa is. I think if the Archbishop said Anywa is going, and indeed Anywa went, then this Archbishop is really a good what?
Ordained one.
Ordained one. So that one will see results. But what we wanted to bring up is that, well, they could be colleagues. You know, the law says in the last 1 year, members on the election are free to change what? Change parties if they want. They will be not affected. That one is not a big problem. That's why where a colleague is saying that members are free to move anytime, and we allow them to do so. But what I want to put across...
So you're watching a massive exodus in 2020?
No, but you see, we have to do recruitment. We have to continue with recruitment. And you see, why do we have to recruit? Is that we have to now do mobilization for the party, and we are calling on members as we are talking now to come and join the party. The party is strong. Unless you don't want to change. And you see, that's why I'm saying...
Sorry, Honorable Mafa, I'm hearing some callers. Maybe we need to pick 1 or 2 callers. Hello? 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 Yes, your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Anthony.
Yes, Anthony.
Yeah, no.
Yes, keep your question or comment brief, Anthony.
At one time, it was lamented that there will be time when he will destroy the opposition in Uganda, and there will be no opposition in Uganda. What I can say is, the president, as he did, trying to achieve his goals.
Okay, Anthony, I think we lost you there, but I think your comment is well received. Honorable Mafavi and Honorable Muir will respond to that. Hello, do we have another? Okay. You go ahead, you are answering.
Yes, I was trying to say, of course, what Asim has brought is that he's saying President Museveni said he will destroy opposition. And of course, he has to do it to achieve that. That's why you will see trying to destroy, making people cross, do whatever. But I know I'm certain General Muntu was not destroyed by Museveni. I think he could be his own thinking, but I don't think he has been bought by himself or whatever. No, I don't think. I know him. I've worked with him.
Let me take another call and then you'll answer. Sorry. Our view is important. Hello? Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, could you turn down the volume on your TV set?
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
I'm calling from Center. Godfrey's my name.
Yes?
I just want to comment on the LOC elections that you say that the NRM won massively. Like you've always been told, the NRM election, the LOC election was a sham. I could not believe this until I went to the village to find out what actually happened. But people told me that really there was no election in LOC Council, neither was it in Women Council election. But it was a sham. The people who've been serving as LC1s were basically confirmed as LC1s elected by the villagers. 2, in case there was any election anywhere, the registrations were done by the former LC1 chairpersons, and they were registering people of their own choice, people they have not offended, and the people they knew would not let them down. That is why they had to go through as LS1 chairperson. But there was no election, and there was no anybody whom they knew would not elect them or would divide with them.
Thank you, sir. You make very valid points, but the question is, how does an opposition respond to that situation if it intends to change the politics of a country?
The opposition is not going to respond by saying that, okay, let's go back and begin fighting over electing more people or electing more local council. But already these people are very strong in the ground. What we only need to do, or what the opposition needs to do in the village, is to go and just rejuvenate this. They have to move first ahead of time to make people know that, you know what, this is what's going on, and what's going on is wrong.
Thank you very much.
Let's do the right thing, and we'll get going.
Thank you.
There was no election, and the NRM should not come out that way.
Thank you. The point is made.
So now, what I was trying to put up here, of course, he has raised a very important. You said somebody said, Muntu, when in 2009, 2011, never left when he lost to Dr. Chira Jessica. So why is it that when engineer wins, he leaves? That should be a question to answer. Because why when he lost to Dr. Chira Jessica, he never left. Why is it that now when he loses to Ingeniamriat, he loses? Why? Is it because the engineer is from Eastern Uganda or what? Those are questions we should also try to interrogate. Or is it because an engineer? Now, the other point which I wanted, which I don't want to forget, which Paul raised, that I and Dr. Jack Sabit will resign. We never resigned. Our term had come to an end. We had wanted elections. And because the elections were being delayed, that's why we said, no, we need quick elections to have been done. We have overworked for more than 1 year in these offices. So we need urgent elections because we wanted to contest for other posts.
Okay.
And that's why what happened. But let me conclude on this one, which the good professor has brought. Why should you register somebody to vote, yet have a voter's what? Voter's card. They would have, and the voting was at 11:30. It means the village you are in, everybody knows you. I was in my village. There are about 30 people who came. They could not be voted because the register was reading that
they were not in that.
So how do you waste money to register more people? Yet people are already in what? In the register.
Okay.
This was corruption and this was rigging of the highest order.
Let me pick a call. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Many questions.
Hello? I think that person is not coming through. Yes, Honorable Muiro.
First, what is the response? Honorable Karuanga bought bicycles for all the LOC chairpersons elected in Tungam. So the opposition is making a response. On the question of no opposition in Uganda, the president said, I think this is a very valid issue which we need to put our eyes now to watch on everybody and see how do people conduct themselves. You understand? Because to me, that's where the focus is. As to why General Muntu contested 5 elections, lost 4, and stayed, lost 1, and he lost 3, 1, lost, and then he left. I will not judge him. I think the people themselves will judge him by what he will be doing. The journalist, you see, why I was raising an issue to do with the journalist. I don't call it, I've ever called it the journalistic war for one time. That you see, there can be situations and then they can be aggravated also by the media. And every situation would look very ugly and out of, it would look as if it's not a, it can't be handled. I spoke in that context. I did not say that we don't need journalists. For instance, when you were in Arua as a fourth estate, you did a very good job to publicize whatever was taking place. And that's why we look at you as partners in that. Then my friend, Gift. I think also Gift, to me the answer is just one. That you see, time is the best ally of man. But what I also want, you know, I've heard about people, my advice would be that we should try to be as tolerant as possible in this situation.
Okay.
Because we're talking about managing a transition. So transition, if we're amongst ourselves, because I've been seeing the reactions, if we're amongst ourselves, this is how we react to each other. Then the question would be, what would happen if we have now taken power and Charles, you are NRM, how do we deal with you? So we have the capacity to educate our people. If we're talking about a transition, we must actually accommodate one another. Of course, there's also blackmail. One was trying to raise it when it was, you know, these elections, another will bear me witness. When we look for candidates, some of our colleagues just stone WhatsApp and Facebook. True. We go to the constituency, by the time we look at the quality of candidates we have raised, it also explains why, actually, in some instances, we lose. Simply because those who come, they are the brave, whose effort and the courage, actually, we appreciate. You understand? I want to see, Charles, you telling me, look, in Kabarole, we need this constituency. to come under the voice of reason in Parliament. I'll give an example. When we were in Parliament, we were supposed to vote on the mobile money tax. People took off. You understand? People took off. The speaker, that one was wondering, really, what is this business? We actually
I thought that's the strategic thinking that is expected of party headquarters, to identify people and say and encourage them.
Yes.
One, not to join a new formation, or NRM,
Yes.
or DP,
Yes.
or UPC, or People's Progressive Party, or
now,
MDC, to join FDC.
Now,
The elected leaders of the FDC, part of the strategic thinking, Mr. Secretary General, is to say, we think we need you on our side. You may be less interested.
We need you on our side.
We may be you may be less interested, but these are the reasons why you should join FDC and not another political party. But when you keep externalizing your problems and blaming other people, including the NRM.
Actually, now, let me now ask you, Charles, for instance, you know, in organizations, they have a spokesperson of those organizations, and the media know. But you can end up putting a microphone on someone who is not supposed to speak for an organization. He makes a statement, and then you pick it and you run it as news. You understand? Because if you are also to the pass, we would be dealing with the publicist of this organization. Because look, if, for instance, FDC is a brand, you understand?
I'm afraid, sir, your position as a member of parliament gives you that right to speak.
But not to
you'll
give
invite,
official
no, you'll
positions.
invite the media to speak to it. You're the chairman of your party in your constituency, aren't you?
No. There's a chairperson.
No. In your constituency?
No. There's a
constituency
chairperson.
level?
There's a
No,
chairperson.
There's a different chairperson?
No, actually, it's an NRM question which makes it comparison.
Okay.
That when you are an MP, you are a chairperson.
You sit on your party's neck,
Yes.
where other people don't sit.
Yes.
So you occupy a privileged position that when you make comments, the media takes them seriously.
No, it doesn't.
That's not a question of the media.
It doesn't operate that way. You see,
Gentlemen,
for
I'm
instance,
afraid our time is out. We need to get out of here. We haven't had opportunity. I'll just allow one comment from each one of you on I know you're both members of one political party, and Kajangu Moses is watching us and sent a message to say the show is biased because it only has people from the FDC, who are you two gentlemen, and we thought we could discuss issues within the FDC. And as new formation begins to find its own fit, we may not be sure who is on new formation and who is not as of this moment. So that's why we don't have somebody from there. But a quick comment on the Democratic Party and Bobby Wine.
well, to me, it is.
He's your colleague in Parliament.
They are moving on the right direction, but my appeal to them to know that the public demands of us that we cooperate. They want to see a united opposition. That's why they're not even interested in these other things you're actually debating. New formation, FDC, DP. For them, they're saying, okay, for us, we have understood. We are democracy-seeking forces. At the end of the day, they want to see this time around one who can be supported by everybody. Because they think the time for transition is now.
Yes.
So what DP is doing in the massacre with Bobby Wine, to me, is commendable. That's why I went there and I was part of. And I want you now even as to focus on what were the positives out of that. By the fact that they were there, they had a reunion. To me, that is good enough.
We will be auditing that. That's our job as journalists. We'll be asking exactly what happened inside there. But I'm surprised that you say that when you're creating new, you're splitting up more, then to form one big.
But I explained that.
How you'll do that, we'll wait and see. Honorable Nandala?
Now, for me, you see, the problem with DP is to bring Wanika to be their spokesperson, Abedi Wanika. You see, the other day I heard him saying he's the one who paid for the tents, food in Makerere. And you see, where does Wanika get money? He doesn't have even a kiosk where that he can get money, unless he's getting money from the state and using it indirectly. So I want to warn DP that this Wanika, who is also has been on the ballot paper every now and then, you should be careful with him. I'm told they have given him a card of DP. How do you live your own party? Is it PDP something, whatever? So I want to warn them. He could he could be one of those who's coming to support Museveni in destroying opposition.
Are you afraid about the future of the opposition?
No. But if they destroy DP, for us, we believe DP. Me and DP, we cannot fight. Why? I'm saying we are all DP and me. We are targeting one opponent. That's not our enemy, but our opponent. We must all try.
Why do you think Wanika is also not targeting the same opponent?
But you remember in 2006, that man saw an affidavit that the election were free and fair. How can he really return now? Because he thought, in fact, Let me tell you something. If you are not aware, Wanika also opted to be a minister like Betty Kamya. Unfortunately, he was let down. I don't know by how, but now he's busy.
Okay.
But what I want to say here is that for me, I wish DP well as we struggle in this so that we can tackle our opponent.
You saw the fight between Mpuga and Mbide.
It was unfortunate, the fight, and you see, Mpuga is my, you know, is my can you say, is call him Bade? I'll find out from Mpuga what really happened, what was the war about.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Our time is out. Thank you very much, Honorable Paul Mwiru, Member of Parliament for Jinja Municipality East, a member of the Forum for Democratic Change. And you said your treason trial is going on for stoning the president's convoy.
We don't know you could stone a car from behind and the cars behind could not knock on them. For me, I'm saying.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi, Member of Parliament for Budadiri constituency and Secretary General of the Forum for Democratic Change. Thank you very much to you all our viewers for joining us tonight, and especially those who gave us feedback, and each one who watches this show. Thank you very much to the production crew that stay up late to deliver the show to you. From me, a good night.